all these states that are giving tax credits and tax rebates. What is the benefit to that? What is the difference? And can you tell me how long it generally takes to get paid on a rebate and a credit?
Tax incentives, which is what they're both, be it a rebate or a credit, are different states' ways of luring production into their state. You're going to be utilizing their resources, their vendors, their employees. You're going to be buying products in their state, and you're going to be contributing to the commerce and the economy there. So the amount of tax incentive that you get back is based on the amount of the qualified spend that you incur in that state.
And that on a side note is always check the minimums before you go to a state, because they might be lower than you expect or higher than you expect.
Yeah, and you also, I mean, if you're doing the film for $500,000, it might not be worth leaving the state, because you have to fly everyone, you have to pay for a hotel, you have to pay for meals. None of that occurs if you're right here in Los Angeles.
And you sometimes have better access to talent on smaller budget films when
they can sleep in their own bed.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's based on the spend, how much money you've spent in their state, and at the end of production, whenever you tally it up, you submit to the government. The government audits your books, and they see how much you actually spent in the state, and then based on that, they'll give you a tax incentive that's equal to maybe 25% of what that spend is.
Right.
And different states have different percentages, and they're often in competition with each other, and they change every year.
Right.
And you want to know what's what. The difference between a credit and a rebate. A tax rebate is simply that, if you're getting $250,000 back in the rebate after which is 25% of your qualified spend.
Let's call it $1 million.
So you're getting $250 back. The state writes you a check, Stacy Jorgensen, or your entity.
My entity.
That's right.
I would never.
$250,000. And it's a check. You can take it to your bank, and it's deposited free and clear. And so $250 in rebate equals $250,000 in your pocket.
Right.
No muss, no fuss. A tax credit is, instead of giving you a check, they give you a coupon, an IOU that says the holder of this coupon can redeem it for $250,000 worth of payment for our state tax.
So then it becomes an issue of, if one of your investors is not in the state, or if the production company is not in the state that you're filming in, and you can't personally use it, your investor can't use it as a portion of a repayment, then you're looking at brokers.
That's right. This is of absolutely no value to me. I live in California. The state of Louisiana said, here, next time you have a tax bill in Louisiana, this is good for $250,000.
Right.
I don't have a tax bill in Louisiana. If you film there, you might have a bar bill that big, but not a tax bill. So you need to find, so this means nothing to me.
It's a piece of paper to us, yeah.
But there are a lot of very wealthy people in New Orleans and throughout Louisiana, and companies that would kill to have that.
Right.
Now, they're not going to give you $250,000.
Because otherwise it's not a savings for them, it's not a write-off.
It's the equivalent of, when I go to Vegas and you put the money in the dollar change machine, you put $1 in and 4 quarters come out. I play it all night and I break even. It's like, how come I never? It's the same thing. You're breaking even. There's no reason to be involved in that transaction. It's not a game. But if they can buy that coupon for $250,000 and give you $220, let's be even a little guy. Okay, $200, $220. They've just made $30,000 to $50,000, right? Because they paid you $200. They take this coupon, and that goes toward their state bill towards $250,000. They made money. So the first thing you need to know about tax credits is, when you sell it to someone in that state, it's going to be sold at a discount.
What can filmmakers expect? Are we saying 75 to 95 cents on the dollar, 60 to 80? What do you see generally when you're helping filmmakers find a broker?
Brokers will best value that at the time of when this is being watched, and it's markets.
It's like the stock market.
That's
right. Fluctuates every day.
If you don't know a whole lot of wealthy people in Louisiana yourself, then you need a middleman, a broker who can make those introductions and facilitate that. And for some unknown reason, these brokers expect to be paid too. They're not doing this out of the generosity or the kindness of their hearts.
No.
They may do it for you, but for most people, they want to take a brokerage fee. So they're going to so that further has to discount the tax credits.
Right. So let's just say, I think a good blanket rule for brokers, for sales agents, for anyone that's going to be handling something on your behalf, I say always ask for references.
Oh yeah,
Always
absolutely.
ask for 3 to 5 minimum. Speak to the people on the phone. Don't let them pass you off on a YouTube video of somebody talking about them. Ask for personal references. Make sure that other people were paid.
And that particularly goes with the film lenders too. I mean, there are a
Right.
lot of very reputable film lenders. There are a lot of unscrupulous folks and people that require a lot of money up front with the promise that they're going to give money on the back. The explanations for why you have to give them their money is always really bizarre, and it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to them. And if it smells wrong, it's wrong. And know that there are a lot of people out there, and I've chased away so many, and I've seen people not take my advice and get burned as a result. Make sure whoever you're dealing with is reputable and can deliver what they say they deliver, and don't just look at IMDb credits, because I know a lot of con men that have enormous IMDb credits, but if you ever contacted those producers, they would say, don't ever, oh my God, I had a terrible experience with that. Line producers that have really, some of them that have been unscrupulous with producers, and yet they go on to live another day and be on another film because they're, well, look at these movies, look at these movies.
All
And
the
if
credits.
but if you checked with those producers, they would say, wow, this guy ran a little bit of a scam on me. And we see that's a whole different topic, but one that independent filmmakers need to know is, and I wrote an article for Movie Maker magazine about the importance of having, a well vetted, highly trusted, line producer, production accountant, and production attorney, and preferably they're not all friends. Certainly, you want a production accountant that his loyalty is to you and not to the line producer.
Right.
Because you want that guy to be able to stand up and say, what, something's not right here with the checks. Because otherwise, you're not going to find it out till a long time
it's too
after,
late.
And you realize that you paid $30,000 for lights from Stacy's Lights, and you find out that Stacy's Lights is merely the line producer's girlfriend, Stacy,
Right.
and she got the lights from the real lighting place and only paid $20,000, and they pocketed $10,000.
Right. And the line producer is someone who's needs to be so trusted because they're completely in control of the money once production begins. If they're operating as your on-set accountant, which most of them do on a smaller budget film.
Like I said, you cannot spend enough time to make sure you know who this person is. This film is your baby,
Right.
and this is your primary caregiver,
Right.
and you better be damn sure that
they're going to
you
show
did
up.
all the reference checks that you should, and didn't just grab a nanny off the internet without checking anything.
I have a good feeling about that person. No, even no matter how instantly you hit it off with somebody, always check references.
And the nicest, most affable ones of them all are often, the ones that are maybe the most shady.
shadiest,
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they call it, a con man. They gain your confidence.